The sunglasses are still here. I'm not going to put them on. I'll end up bending them or something. Thank you very much, Fred, for that very kind and, if I may say so, very over-generous introduction. It's not often that I am at a loss for words. Thankfully or not thankfully, tonight is not one of those occasions. So, I just made out a few notes, and I have to apologize because I just had a little bit of some minor eye surgery recently, so my eyesight is a little off tonight and that, but I promise I won't keep you. Didn't come here to hear me speak. I just want to say, you know, a lot of times, many of you have heard me say that in my view, the single greatest impediment to the development of good public policy and the practice of responsible politics is the general, and I think the cataclysmic degradation in the quality of thinking that goes into the positions that we take on issues and the causes that we support. And this is a problem, by the way. I want to say that Fred Litwin and his team of dedicated volunteers at the Free Thinking Film Society have set out to really challenge. And it's not just an important, vitally important task that they're performing. They're doing a stellar job of it. So congratulations, Fred. This is just an outstanding video, and thank you very much for all the work that you're doing. I know that many of you tonight come to these events regularly. Some of you, this might be your first one. And I promised I wasn't going to do anything for those sunglasses.
They're mine.
Whose are they?
Mine.
Oh, they're yours, David? Oh, okay. Well, I'll buy you a new pair if they were damaged, I promise. I really want to urge you guys, if you haven't done it yet, to go out and make sure you get your passes for the 3rd annual film festival, Free Thinking Film Festival here in Ottawa, November the 1st through the 4th. The lineup of speakers and films that Fred and his team have assembled promises to make this festival, this year's festival, I think the best yet. I particularly, for the people that are who are going to be seeing this on video though, I want to say this. The weather in early November in Ottawa is wonderful. The hotels and the restaurants are great. And the people are warm and friendly, especially the ones that are attending Free Thinking Film Festival events. So don't be a stranger. Join us here in Ottawa. It's a great thing to do. It's a great place to come and spend a weekend, a great activity. You won't be disappointed. And go to, it's freethinkingfilms.com, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you go to freethinkingfilm.com, check out the schedule, buy your passes in advance. You're going to have a great time, I promise you. On the subject of thinking about things, you know, I was trying to think of what to say about our speaker tonight, and he has a very extensive, very long resume. He is a poet. He is a literary critic, an education critic, a prolific writer, author of many books. He is a regular contributor to Front Page Magazine, Pajamas Media. We saw PJTV here with Bruce Bauer this evening. But I think what I really wanted to say, and this sort of ties into what Fred is doing and into the book in particular, that I think is really important, and it comes down to thinking. What I find the most fascinating thing about David Solway isn't his academic credentials, of which he has many, but you know, he's written a book on global warming. And one of the questions that I've heard asked of him, and some people have asked me when I've talked about the book, is what could a poet possibly have to say that we could learn about global warming? This is a scientific area, and I think if you ask David, he'd probably tell you he's the first person to say, you know, I'm not a scientist, and that's really not what this is about. To me, the global warming hoax is not really about the science. The hoax is this myth that the science is settled. And here is an average person who doesn't have a lot of scientific technical background. He has some, okay? Who's taking the time to look into the issue. And when you look into the issue, it quickly becomes apparent that there is no scientific consensus that climate change is caused by man's activity. And that's the myth. That's really what the hoax is. And that's what David has done. In his book, Global Warming, he's really exposed and put forward for the layperson the evidence that there is no consensus, that the science really isn't settled. And in that, I think he's made a major contribution to the debate. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce David Solway.